All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the House of Commons. To my left is
LD the Mola House of Commons.
Pascal Atuma, House of Commons.
Ikonoha, House of Commons.
and I'm Enyo Suji, and we're here for another episode. Today's topic is a heavy one. Religion. Is it good or is it bad? Is it helping or hurting us as a society, locally, nationwide, in the United States of America, worldwide? And you know, what are the benefits? Is it hurting or helping us? So, you know, House of Commons, what do you guys think?
Before we go into that, I'm going to define religion from the dictionary, right?
Okay.
Religion is an organized collection of beliefs, cultural systems, and worldviews that relate humanity to an order of existence. That's how. Do you want me to say it again?
No, it makes sense.
I think we got it. That's
Okay.
good.
Hey, read it again. Because, you know, some people might say they didn't understand my grammar. That's why.
You mean your accent?
My accent.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
A religion is an organized collection of beliefs, cultural systems, and worldviews that relate humanity to an order of existence. That's the first sentence on.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
That's all. Yeah, that's pretty much
good.
it.
Good.
So I don't know if you want me to go first. I mean,
I think I want to go first. Yeah, I see you're boiling already. You got a lot on your chest.
No, it's
Go
pretty
ahead.
simple. I think religion is, the teachings are great. The structure is what I think is what is actually not so great. The structure of religion, I think, is what is affecting society in a negative way. The teachings of religion, different religions, when you look at different religions, you notice that it's just basically humbling humanity, making humans understand that there are powers that are greater than you, which is true. But I think the little nitpicks here and there, the teachings that are taken so literally are the things that is affecting.
Would that be organized religion? Because organized religion may fall into a different category. So you know.
Of course, I think religion is organized.
Yeah,
as it's defined.
but then you have like denominations that's like an organized group of people who do this a certain way. You know, it's the same Bible, but they may do a different thing.
Well,
Quran have a different.
Well, if I'm to chip in, I mean, this topic is very heavy, and we can go all kinds of directions with it. But I guess on your point, the topic is religion helping or hurting us. I think it's helping us, but in from another angle, I think it's also hurting us. It's both helping and hurting us. That's what I think. Because when you start going into the different kinds of religion, now you see it's actually man's way of controlling man. That's what religion is.
It's sorry to cut back in, but it is, you find that some religious teachers are just pushing a personal agenda. You know, it's not. It has nothing to do with what they're actually teaching you. It's what they're teaching you to respond based on what they tell you to do. It's just like, you know.
And a lot of people, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with different denominations and what they believe in. I will never disrespect anybody's belief system, but I do believe certain belief systems have certain rules and implementations that people are just doing because they've just been told to do it. They don't even know why they're doing it. Just doing it just to do it. Because they said that you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do certain things. But you know, I don't want to go too off. I know people got stuff to say, but what is the actual point of it? It's a connection to whatever, you know, deity. Because we're not just talking about, you know, Christianity. We're talking about Islam, right, or whatever other, you know, Buddhism, whatever. So it's, what is the actual point of it? Are we doing it for, you know, to get people to not to do certain things, or what they should or should not do? Is that the focus? And I think that's a lower level of what the problem is. I think the other things, like the things we're seeing in the world today, is a bigger issue. Like, is religion a part of what's going on in Nigeria? Was religion part of what's going on here in America with ISIS? Because people are saying it's an Islamic thing. No, it's not an Islamic thing. You know, so what relationship does religion have with the bad things that are going on in the world? That's my thing.
Okay, I don't. There's no need to speak too much English on this one. Religion is supposed to be. It was put in place to help us, but now it's hurting us badly.
Right.
If you look at what is going on in the world, the whole world now, 90% of the problem now is caused by religion. Because people actually use religion as, some people are even using religion as cover up to do evil. You know, because I give you an example of what's going on in Nigeria. some people are saying Boko Haram, meaning Western education is
No to Western education.
no to Western education, right? But some people, a lot of people are attaching it to Islam, right?
Yeah.
But if you look into it, it's not really Islam.
Right, right,
It's just a group of lunatics that got together for some reason. They got together, or some political agenda for guru got them together. But now they're putting on the religion. But if you look at what is going on in Afghanistan, if you look at what's going on in Iraq, look at what's going on in the ISIS
situation,
whatever's going on, everything is religiously motivated, right? So right now, I think straight up, religion is hurting the world.
You know, one thing that I would say to kind of piggyback off what you said, you also got to keep in mind though, the media also promotes it a certain way. So it might not be that it is religiously, it's not done out of a religious group or religious radicals. The media might just market it as that because that's the easiest way to market whatever issues are going on.
And let's not forget we're in America too, so
Exactly. So,
we view Islam in a different way, naturally because of the way the media puts it out.
Exactly.
As a country, because we can't assume everybody's intelligent, everybody knows everything.
here's the thing though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say America views it a certain way.
No, but it's because it's not our base
After a
religion.
certain event, we looked at it specifically a certain way.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
9/11,
We look, yeah.
that was when it became, this is what happened from this religious group. But
Yeah.
that's one thing I'm saying about the religious marketing. So you know,
Right.
just to give
Okay,
it a,
I'll give you an example. If you look into America, people are being killed every day, here and there. That's killing
Right.
going on. But there was one that happened a few days ago where they said, oh, they were killed because they were Muslims. Did you hear about it?
no.
Okay, yeah, it's in the news. It was about 2 people were killed. I don't remember the state that said were Muslims. You see, that's when people use religion the wrong way. Because religion was actually supposed to be something that we all should use to use to relate with one another, use to teach the younger ones, use to actually moderate life.
But
That's what I'm saying.
But I think that you're touching on another thing else, the way certain religions are being viewed now by the masses and by its local area. Like here, that's what I'm saying, in the United States, certain religions are viewed differently. Christianity, no matter how you want to look at it, first of all, America is very, very prudish compared to the rest of the world. And I think it's partially because of our core Christian values that we've had in our country. Even though we may not, to ourselves, be like, okay, we're not really that Christian.
Well,
But no. But that's what we're based upon.
okay, but not to cut you off, sorry, but also in America's defense, there are so many other countries that are also specifically based on religion.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Like,
It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying you're coming from another perspective.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I'll give you a very good example is what is going on in Nigeria. You know, people might say it's Boko Haram, people might say it's this, it's that, but religion is one of the things that is really causing a big problem in Nigeria.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Before we go into the Boko Haram side of the issue, Christianity in Nigeria as a whole is confusing Nigeria in a whole nother perspective.
You know why? But you know why? Because that's what I said. People are using religion as an undercover to do some things they're not supposed to do, right? So like some Christianity, you have to know didn't come from Africa. It did not originate from Africa, right? So now people wants to become Christians and they become Christians in the wrong direction.
But
You know, they use it. They become Christians the way they want.
do you have something to say?
Yeah,
I don't
No,
know.
I'm just I'm good.
You scared of this topic?
I mean, it's a very wide topic, you know. It depends on what angle you want to come at it, you know. So definitely, I think we should kind of narrow this down to some specifics.
Okay, in that case,
You know what I mean?
Babayo, in that case, right, is religion hurting us or helping us?
Well, definitely, I answered that question, you know, when I first spoke. I think it's both hurting us and helping us. It helped, and I'll tell you in both instances, it's helping us from the angle that without it, there's probably not going to be some guide in society, some kind of written set of rules to follow.
True.
And it's hurting us in the sense that now we pass judgment based on our own religion.
That's
As long if you think differently from me, then I look at you as an enemy. That's what is going on in society today.
Right.
And I think it shouldn't be that way.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Go ahead. No,
Can I ask a question? Okay. Do you think, as you said, that is just a cover, or do people actually believe that religion differentiates us? Do people actually believe that's the truth, or is that just a cover for other evils that they might have in there?
No.
Does that make sense?
I can answer it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can answer it.
Okay.
I don't believe that people. I don't believe that it is mainly used as a cover. You know why? I have my very good friends who are Muslims that I do business with. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they don't look at me as if I'm different. So when we get together, that religion and doesn't come into play. So there are some people out there like that, but there are some people that are hiding under religion to do evil, worse than people that don't belong to any sector of religion, don't belong to are not Muslims or Christians. Then there are some Muslims that are using it to do evil. There are some Christians that are using Christianity to do evil. And there are a lot of pastors that are using Christianity to do 419.
Yeah. Can we look at the camera and say that, please? Can we look into the camera?
I'll give you an example, right? If you go to some places in Nigeria, even some places around Africa, right? Within the 2 miles, you will find 200 churches.
It's not two. It's one. Within one, you find 900.
Okay, you
Come
find
on.
all these churches.
I saw a church that was in a church.
Okay, the church was in a church. Okay.
There's quite a couple of those.
Hold on, okay, I'll give you an example. I traveled to Maryland. I was shooting a movie in Maryland, and we were supposed to do a church scene. So we come into this tall building in Maryland. In that particular building, there's about 7 African churches.
Right, they have
7
different
different
times,
African
right? Different
churches.
sections, yeah.
In that particular
Like your
building.
pastor has his own
Then
Come on.
I asked one of the pastors, I said, this is supposed to be a church, right? He said yes. I said, this is from a Christian church, worshiping God, right? He said, yeah. I said, why can't, if this is really safe to worship God, why can't 7 of you come together and have one church and say, let's worship God?
Because they have 7 different bank accounts.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So, do you understand what I'm saying?
No, and I think that is the problem. That's why I said organized. What are we talking about? Organized religion, because everybody has different views. And I'm not even going to talk about the 419 aspect. I'm just talking about, you have Christianity, for example, because I'm familiar with Christianity, so I'm going to use that as an example. Not that I'm biased against any other religion, but
So you're a Christian?
I'm a Christian.
Okay. I'm just asking, I want to be sure. Go ahead.
No, but
I didn't know.
as a Christian,
Why the evil see that?
No, this is why I asked the question. Is the Christian supposed to be on Tinder?
Did you say that
He's on
word?
ChristianMingle.com.
Did you say that word?
What is it called?
Oh, he's supposed to...
Tinder? This is a real saying. Nothing getting cut out. It's real. It's real. It's real.
Christian single.
Christian single. Christian single.
Okay.
You know what? That's a good point though. There's actually a website called ChristianMingle.com for dating.
Not Tinder.
For dating though. But think about that though.
Okay, let's finish. That's it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so my point is,
You think the man doesn't know what they want to say?
no, but
I'm sorry.
you know, Christianity is a big religion. Obviously, it's a huge religion, so it has a bunch of different offshoots and denominations. Like he was saying, how come 7 different churches are in one church,
One roof.
and we're worshiping the same thing?
Yes.
You know, and one would say, I mean, obviously there's probably some 419-ish stuff going on. For those who don't know what 419, 419 is a code for...
Christianity is not supposed to be a business. They've turned it into a business.
No, finish defining 419 though.
419 is a code
Just fraud.
for fraud.
Yeah, that means whenever you're using anything that's not supposed to be used for something to do something else. I'll give you an example, the Boko Haram people, right? I do see the videos on that guy, their leader, and then you killing people and you keep saying Allah Akbar, something, you know, like
Allah is the greatest. God is the greatest.
God is greatest, right? So that's the system where I'm talking about people hiding under religion to commit evil.
And just like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said the other day, they said that stuff like that is the equivalent of somebody saying KKK is a part of Christianity. Because KKK is under, they're saying that it's a Christian, you know, group.
Oh.
You know, so that's the analogy that a Muslim will tell you that.
Yeah, like the Boko Haram.
Boko Haram
Here's my question.
that.
Here's my question. Now, I always think religion is a lot of common sense. I could be wrong, but I look at a religious establishment as you go about your business during the week, you go to wherever you worship to learn, to be humbled again. So it's almost like...
To learn ways of life.
Exactly.
Yes.
To get taught and reminded that there's a greater power than you. Just like you're a car and you go to the gas station, you get more fuel, and you drive off again. And you come back to get refueled, right? Now, my question is, or my statement is, it seems like people are taking common sense away from themselves and just plugging religion into it.
Yeah, plugging what they think religion
Exactly.
is
Like
into
I've heard people tell me that because I don't know every scripture in the Bible, I'm not Christian enough. Like, I think that is just saddening.
No.
I mean,
you see, that's part of religion hurting us. That's why I say it's hurting us. I'll give you an example. There are some people, you go to their house or you meet them, right? And you don't see you pray every second. They don't see you carrying the Bible on your head like it's a bucket. You know? No, I'm being real. Right there, there'll be discrimination. Right there, they'll start looking at you from a different angle. And you might be living a more good life.
You probably are.
Bro, living a good
Chances
life.
are you are.
You know, your hands are clean. But they might be hiding under religion, using it as cover, but they're actually evil. Because I'm a Christian, born and raised. I've met some Christians who have used Bible to become wicked.
True. Can I spice this further by adding this? Have you ever been told that you're not Christian enough to marry a pastor's daughter? Have you heard that before?
I'm like, chop knuckle, please. Okay, how about this? Have you ever seen?
So that's where religion is hot.
This could be a whole other topic.
Yes.
I've seen pastors spitting game. I've seen pastors spitting game in church.
In their defense. Let me just in their defense. Wait. In their defense. I'm just saying, in their defense. No, wait. Let me finish. I'm not saying it's right, too. I'm just saying that in their defense, pastors get it thrown at them non-stop.
That's true.
What are they throwing at
What?
They
Everything.
got women that.
Oh my God!
So what are you saying?
Pastors.
I should not be a pastor so I can get it thrown at me?
No. But no. You see, on a very serious.
No, but I'm just being honest. Women,
on a very,
are you kidding me?
Okay,
The way you're speaking in public, you're commanding, and you're talking about God. Oh my gosh, Christian women.
okay.
What?
So in that case, should we say that religion is hurting us or helping us?
Let me just take some water.
I'm really on a very serious note. Jokes apart, this is the House of Commons. I say religion is hurting us. You say religion is doing what?
I say religion is actually doing. I think it's doing both.
It's
Yeah,
doing
It depends on who.
What about you?
I think it's like everything in life.
Okay.
Too much of everything's balanced.
Okay, so can we conclude? Can you guys conclude on this topic?
As I was saying, everything is balanced. You know, too much water is bad. You know, but if you know how to balance things, I think the teachings should be taken. They should be taken like teachings. They should not be taken so literally. You know, when it gets too literal, that's when it's like, okay, you really do have common sense. When somebody says, here are the 10 Commandments, the 10 Commandments, I don't think it's possible as human beings to live directly by the 10 Commandments. I don't know if that's possible. But here are some rules that you want to follow, because if you don't follow these rules these ways, these are some things that happen. You know, so that's, you see what I'm saying? There's a balance in life.
You just gotta have. I just think you have to have your own personal relationship with God, and if you feel like you want to follow these religious things, that's fine. But let's not let it make it divide us as people in our belief system. You know, if you're a Christian and you believe that, then I feel like all Christians should still. We all read the same scripture. We should be having similar interpretations of what's going on. Hopefully, but you know, everybody has their own. Like you said, people have different agendas. People have different views, and all. That's fine. But let it not divide us and say this person is wrong or is going to hell because they're not doing it the way I'm doing it. And that's what I see religion doing to us. That's just one aspect of it, apart from the 419. It's dividing us.
Can we have that episode about religion in 419 Nigeria, please?
We can do that later, but let's conclude. By the way.
We're going this way.
Okay, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I still stand that religion is hurting us. It wasn't meant to be like that. Religion, however it came along, was supposed to bring us together, was supposed to unite us, right? It was supposed to bring peace, love, harmony. But all of a sudden it has turned the other way, and right now it's hurting us so badly. Looking at what is going on in Nigeria, looking at what is going on in South Sudan, even those ones. That's why I'm telling you, religion is really hurting us. I'll give you an example, like South Sudan, right? Most of them are Muslims, some few are Christians, right? But they're still, it's not even about brotherhood anymore, it's a war. Now fighting for things and people hiding under religion. Then I'll give you an example like the building I went to in Maryland where they have 7 churches, right? 7 churches. I'm sure that some of the pastors will be looking at who's got more members, right? And then there'll be jealousy. You see, that's religion bringing jealousy right there in one building, whereas they can all come together. I actually think if it could be done, I think religion should be eradicated so that all human beings can worship one God. There's only one God. If you look at Muslims, when they say Allah Akbar, the difference between Muslim beliefs, the main difference between the Muslim belief is they believe in God, but they say you have to go through God through Muhammad, right? The Christians believe in God. You have to go through God through Jesus Christ. Do you see it? But they all believe in that one.
I don't know if humanity
into that one God. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that we should get to a point where we should accept each other, as I accept your religion, you accept my religion, and we can live together.
I think we should ordain you a pastor.
Of course. Since we
After that, explain.
He hasn't done it already.
But I'm going to tell you the truth. If I become a pastor, it will be 419 pastor.
Yeah.
Pastor,
Sure. It won't be thin that
I watched the video of Pascal said, I'm a business artist. Yeah.
All right. I mean, all right. This is a great topic, great conversation, guys. To piggyback on what everybody has said, well, before I go there, I want to say that I had a conversation one time, not too long ago, with a lady, very religious lady, that said America has all those things like hurricanes and earthquake and blah 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 because of the sin of America. So that statement to me was ignorant, because what I told her was, why is it in Nigeria a lot of people are starving and people that are getting killed on the street, you can leave your house, does it mean that it has to do with the geography? Geography of a place determines what happens there. We don't have Harmattan in America because we have a different kind of thing. So Harmattan is in Nigeria, we have winter, So I mean, that was ignorant for.
So that's
exactly
the cover of our.
Thank you very much. I just have to say this time because I just remembered, because I would have said it during the conversation. We can go deep into it. But in my conclusion, I'll say that you are human. You have a conscience. Who gave you that conscience? What is that thing, that spirit being, that person, that when you do wrong, something tells you you're doing wrong. I have a 3-year-old daughter that tells me, when she's doing wrong or when something is right. And I mean, if a 3-year-old knows right from wrong, that means, she has not been taught by any religion to know right or wrong. So as a human beings, we have that thing in us that tells us good from evil. You don't need nobody to tell you a set of rules to live by to make you a better person. I think you should, like they used to say, do unto others how you want them to do unto you. No, it's been changed now. Now do unto others the way they should. No, I'm messing this up.
You know what?
It used to be,
do unto others the way you want to do it.
Now
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Do unto others the way. I
don't want it. I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, do unto others
basically
the way you want others to do to you, right?
Yeah,
like treat others the way you want to be treated. But I want to say one particular point I didn't make that where religion really hurts the world. I know a particular group of people. If you don't belong to their church, you cannot marry outside the church. You cannot marry. You see a young girl who is qualified to marry, who's got everything going for her, who wants to get married, but cannot marry.
But there's one exception though.
Okay.
Me.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to mention the name of the church, right?
I know.
You cannot marry anybody that doesn't belong to that particular church. Is that not religion hurting the world?
Of course.
So APT has to come out.
APT has to come out.
So when I remember my statement,